Welcome to Opinion Journal Live. I'm Mary Kissel. Joining me now is Global View columnist Bret Stephens, who's here to talk about his latest column that has created quite a stir. It's called Muslims, Mormons, and Liberals. Bret, welcome.
Hello, my name is Elder Bret. I'm a stereotypical Mormon missionary that you'd like to mock. Point of my article is, over the summer I attended at considerable expense a show of the Book of Mormon, which is the hit Broadway musical written by the guys who brought you South Park, which spends 2 hours and a lot of money mocking Mormons nonstop. Sometimes in good fun, sometimes pretty harshly, but it's one nonstop frontal mockery of Mormon missionaries, the Mormon religion, and so on. And people are laughing and applauding and guffawing. I actually thought it was a stupid show, so did my wife, kind of shooting fish in a barrel. But among other people who went to this show was none other than our Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton. Now, Hillary Clinton is also the same person who is saying it's disgusting and revolting, this film about alleged film about Mohammed that is supposedly at the root of the violence now stirring in the Middle East.
So it's fine to make fun of Mormons, but it's not fine to make fun of Muslims or Islam.
Right, and you have to ask yourself, well, what is the moral principle that distinguishes the two? And I kind of scratched my chin. I thought, maybe it's because when you make fun of Mormons or make fun of Christians or Catholics, you're probably not going to risk being murdered the next day. However, do so against some other religion, and you do run that risk. So it turns out that this delight that a lot of liberals take in free speech is selectively applied to those who will not respond violently to the exercise of free speech.
Now, Bret, one of the points that you make in your column, and it's out every Tuesday for people who want to read it, is that some of this comes down, maybe much of it comes down to leadership. You quote Sheikh Yusuf Qadari in some of the comments that he's made. What impact do his comments and other Muslim leaders have on the reaction to these kinds of videos?
Yusuf Qaradawi is essentially the most prominent Sunni theologian alive today. And you know, you hear a lot of complaints in the Muslim world demanding that something called Islamophobia be made into a crime throughout the West. But then you listen to a guy like Qaradawi, who says that the Holocaust, for example, was divine punishment for the Jewish people. You notice that throughout the Arab world, in Iraq, in Lebanon, in Egypt, Christian populations, Catholic Maronites or Coptic Christians or Iraqi Christians, are being essentially evicted from the region. So I'm simply pointing out in the column that when the Islamic world, or leaders within the Islamic world, certain leaders within the Islamic world, demand a deference and respect from others for Islam, they ought to at least offer the same deference and respect to Judaism, to Christianity, to other religions, so far notably not in evidence.
Bret, I want to return to the U.S. administration, the Obama administration in particular. What cost do they perceive in standing up for free speech, even if it offends Muslims, given that you know, showing deference has resulted only in more violence? What is the downside that they think there is here?
Well, you know, I can't enter into the thinking of this administration. I mean, Mary, this is an administration that says it's the most progressive administration since, I don't know, Lyndon Johnson or Franklin Roosevelt or whatever. All right, so you would expect that as a progressive administration, they would be making the principled case to the Islamic world on the subject of free speech. And to her credit, Hillary Clinton made some noises in this direction, but overwhelmingly the reaction of the government is, this is all about this movie. We had nothing to do with this movie. We condemn this movie. These are acts that happened on 9/11. Do you think it was an accident that they happened on that particular day? What I'd like to see this administration do, I can't explain its thinking, so I'd like to see President Obama say, I'm going back to Cairo and I'm going to explain to you what free speech is about. I'm going to explain that we have a First Amendment precisely to protect speech that is heretical, that is vulgar, that is unorthodox, and often that is stupid. That is the point of free speech. That is the essence of liberalism. And if this administration can't explain this to the Arab world at this time, it doesn't have much to offer by way of a principled foreign policy.
A very strong final word. Bret Stephens, Global View columnist. Thanks for being with us.
Good to be here.